Rainbow Six Extraction is the kind of game that fights with itself. And what I mean by that is this is a game that at its core has great fundamentals, great mechanics, great animation, and a good level of overall polish. Yet the developers forgot to do something very important, and that is make this game a fun game. For those of you who don't know, Rainbow Six Extraction is a 3-player PvE game that takes a tactical approach to the horde shooter subgenre. This game itself, the inspiration from it came from the Rainbow Six Siege Chimera event that was released way back, and it spawned into its own little game of its own. Being a spin-off of Rainbow Six Siege, everything from this game is ripped from Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, the animation, the mechanics, the loadouts, the customization, everything is ripped from Rainbow Six Siege. So if you are a Siege player, you will fit this game like a glove. You will be right in, and not even the learning curve for you will be kind of relatively easy. The only unfortunate thing for as an existing Siege player is that you have to go through the game's mandatory tutorial. You can't skip it even if you know what you're doing, which is kind of unfortunate. But as stated, this is right from Rainbow Six Siege, and while the game is a PvE focused, you would think that there would be some semblance of a story. Unfortunately, there isn't. While the game does feature gorgeous cutscenes in terms of visuals, the game itself, in terms of a story, is just not there. It's like the cutscenes and story is there just to say why you're doing it, but there's no actual story, and no context is given to any of the characters or personality whatsoever. Once you complete the tutorial, however, you'll be greeted with the game's main screen, where you'll find that there are 4 areas to play in. 3 of the 4 areas are locked behind your account level. So when you level up your account as you play the game, you will unlock those other areas. Because of this setup, the game gets repetitive relatively quickly because you have to play that first area multiple times. Granted, every single time you play an area, regardless if you're repeating it or not, the objectives are randomly generated, so therefore you're not guaranteed to play through that stage the same way every time, but it is the same stage nonetheless. When it comes to your account level, not only does your account level unlock new areas, but it also unlocks new pieces of equipment. Equipment such as grenades, armor kit, stim packs, etc. These pieces of equipment can be added on to any operator of your choice. It doesn't matter. They're not tied to the operator specifically. There is, however, the operator level. Now, every operator does have its own level, and when you level them up, you will be able to get more guns for that operator, as well as strengthen that specific operator's signature ability. Pretty standard stuff, but in Extraction, there is a little twist. Every time you do a run in Extraction, even if you complete it, your operator will have a lower health pool if you immediately jump into another raid using that same operator. This is a system that's basically designed for you to play an operator one raid and then switch to a different one on the next, unless you're willing to start that raid with a lower health to start. If you die in a raid, your operator that you were using will no longer be available until either A, you return to that area and extract them, or B, you wait a certain amount of time and that operator will become available to you again, but you'll lose all the experience that you would have gained instead of just, rescuing them by repeating that same mission. The point of this system is both good and bad. In one hand, having a system like this is good because it forces the player to use different operators and not just main one or two. But on the flip side, it also causes a problem that leveling up operators becomes a tedious grind because you can't use them consistently. You have to keep switching between them, and it's not like your operator instantly gets full health after one raid. No, it takes about 2 or 3 before they get full health. So it does take, a while before you can use it again if you want to start at full health, or you take that risk of starting at lower health. I'm sure at the beginning of the game it's relatively easy to pick an operator at a lower health pool and be okay. But as the game gets harder, you're going to want that extra HP. The other issue I had with Extraction is that what you see is what you get. And essentially what that means is you played the game for 2 hours, you've essentially seen everything the game has to offer, and nothing changes. I played the game for about 8 hours or so, and this game got boring after the first 30 minutes. It was boring in the first hour as it was in the 8th hour. Sure, playing with friends and these kinds of game can always make it more fun, especially when you mess around with your buddies, but at the end of the day, the game needs to be fun, and to me, at least for me, I didn't have fun playing this. It was a chore to play this game, which is strange for me because I enjoy playing Rainbow Six Siege, and yet Extraction did nothing for me whatsoever. Obviously, a game like this, as stated, is better with friends, and that's the point of these co-op games, but the flaw is that at the early part of the game, it's way too easy for a coordinated group. I mean, you could literally fall asleep. When you break this game down and you look at it, it is fighting itself. The mechanics, the animation, everything I stated about the fundamentals of this game, its foundation, is really, really good. But the game itself is just not fun. Yeah, I have a hard time recommending this game when Back 4 Blood exists. Granted, this game's launch price point in Canada is $30 cheaper than Back 4 Blood's price point at launch. And even then, I am urged to recommend Back 4 Blood instead, even though you have to pay $30 more. It was really, really, really hard to pick this game. I played this game on Game Pass, and if you're playing it on Game Pass, dear God, just go play Back 4 Blood. It's on Game Pass as well, and that to me is what kills this game. You have another game of a similar subgenre that is just more fun and has more characters. Granted, Back 4 Blood at launch did have more technical problems, but the game was more fun. The characters had personality. This is what this game lacks, is personality and fun. All this game did, for me, was make me want to go play Siege, because Siege is a fun game. Siege is a much better game. For some reason, these guys could not duplicate the same level as fun as the Chimera event when they did it years back. All in all, I'm giving Rainbow Six Extraction a 5.5 out of 10. It's got great fundamentals, great foundation, but it just wasn't fun, at least for me. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.